So Famitsu Magazine put out their report on the sales data in Japan from the month of September, and it was a pretty good month for Switch, although you're going to notice that PlayStation 4 actually did really well, especially when it comes to software. The top 5 pieces of software in Japan for the month of September. Number 1, we have PlayStation 4 with Marvel's Spider-Man. That sold about 258,716 copies. Next up for PlayStation 4 is Winning 11 in the number 2 spot. That moved 121,103 units. And then Warriors Orochi 4, also on PlayStation 4, at the number 3 spot, which moved 105,875 units. And at the number 4 spot, also for PlayStation 4, The Legend of Heroes Trails of the Cold Steel 4, The End of a Saga, which sold 97,158 units. Then you have Nintendo rounding out the top 5 with Splatoon 2, moving 77,043 units, which is 20% lower than it did the month prior. Still, Nintendo did have one piece of software crack the top 5. They had like 3 to 4 in the top 10 overall. But right now we just really have the top 5 data. They're getting this data from perfectly-nintendo.com. And what's interesting here is that the top 3 publishers in September for Japan, Nintendo was actually number 1. For games published, Nintendo sold 403,000 units, whereas Sony Interactive Entertainment sold 303,000, and then Koei Tecmo at number 3 with 168,000. Hardware is obviously a little bit of a different story, and this is where we start to get into some positives for Nintendo, because the Nintendo Switch sold 203,432 units, again, according to Famitsu, and that is actually about a 4,000 unit increase over the month prior, and, well, we're looking at a steady 45,000 or so increase over this exact same month last year. So while Nintendo didn't dominate the very top of the sales charts in terms of having the best-selling individual pieces of software, the collective selling of their software helped push Switch to an even higher number than last year. Year to date, they're at 1,762,517 units, which is about 540,000 ahead of the PlayStation 4 for this year. Last year to date, they were at 1,734,083. Now, it is important to remember last year, Switch didn't release until March, so it's missing a few months of data. So technically, that means there were some months this year that were worse than last year, to be expected. And then year to date, or lifetime today, I should say, Nintendo Switch has now crossed 5 million units in Japan alone, at 5,169,675, which is just shy of 2 million behind the PlayStation 4 at 7,074,581. And yes, the 3DS is still chugging along. It moved 34,380 units. It is down year over year, month over month, to be expected. 3DS is slowly on its way out, and man, the 3DS, 24,179,031 units. Just impressive as hell. 3DS had one hell of a run that is still kind of trickling along there in Japan. Obviously, anything Xbox One related is down in the hundreds, as it's been all the time. It's very, very interesting to just think about this and take a step back of it and look at it and realize that for starters, the new 2DS LL is ballin', and the Switch is ballin' as well. I really like that these are the platforms that are leading the way. I believe in the new 2DS. It's basically a new Nintendo 3DS XL without the 3D effect that I don't think a majority of people really care that much about, and it doesn't necessarily negatively impact games when you just don't run it. All games, it's always been optional. Even the games built specifically for the 3D slider are perfectly playable without it. So good for that. And Switch is doing well. I think this is just the calm before the storm. We have, obviously, next month is the big month where Pokemon lands. We know, obviously, this month there was Super Mario Party. We'll see how well Super Mario Party does in Japan here soon enough, at least for the first week sales. And then, obviously, there's Starlink Battle for Atlas, which I think potentially could sell best on Switch because of the Star Fox stuff, but then again, it does cost more because of that. You got to spend like $70-$80, but we'll wait and see how that performs. I'm hopeful. I just want the game to perform well in all regions. Based on my experience with the game, I think this is going to be a sleeper of this year. It's going to be completely overlooked by a lot of people, I feel like, and they're going to be missing out on one hell of an experience. If you're curious about that, I'll put a link down in the description for my impressions of my hour and a half I spent playing Starlink Battle for Atlas, including with the R-Wing, which was pretty cool. I didn't get to play any of the Star Fox specific missions, which is actually kind of neat because you can get my perspective of what's the actual game like. Forget the Star Fox stuff. What is Starlink actually like? So it's kind of a neat look at that from a Nintendo fan's perspective. But yeah, I'm happy. I think this is good news overall. We'll see if they take October. I think Nintendo's going to perform all right in October. I know some people in Japan will be gearing up for holiday season. Next month is obviously going to be huge with Pokemon coming out. I don't know what kind of number. I don't think anyone at this point really knows what Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is going to do, right? I don't think anyone, like everyone tries to predict the doom and gloom because it's got like 5 different SKUs or 6 different SKUs and it's all over the place on the Amazon charts. And it's like, yeah, that's great. But if it just had 2 SKUs like normal, where would it actually be? No one really knows at this point. It could just sell like gangbusters and just be blowing up like any other Pokemon game, or it could be less significant. We don't know. We don't really know what it's going to look like, but it's definitely going to move sales over at least September. And obviously, we can't forget Smash Bros. Is coming out early December. So December should see some big numbers worldwide. And again, I'm still waiting for the next fiscal report. That way we can get updates on the numbers worldwide, get updates on the numbers in North America, that kind of stuff. Because right now, we don't really get numbers in North America. The MPD gives us an idea of where Nintendo's hardware and where the games rank, but they don't really give us exact numbers anymore. Kind of disappointing, but... yeah, so when the new MPD report comes out, I guess we can get an idea of where Nintendo finished last month in North America. But anyways, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about this news. Just a short little story. I don't know if I'm going to get a Prime News out tonight. I do apologize for that. I just have a lot of things going on, but I wanted to make sure I got this little MPD report, get this little Famitsu report out the door for you guys. A little positive Switch news to potentially end our day, unless I make another video. Am I going to ball it out and hit 3-4 videos today? I guess stay tuned. All right, I'm Nathaniel Jans from Nintendo Prime, and if you like this video, you know what to do. And if you dislike the video, hit that dislike button, subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you in the next one.